Sometimes the biggest truths don't come from what people say publicly, they come from the moments when everything starts falling apart behind the scenes. Hey y'all, it's your girl Nova, and welcome back to another deep dive where we don't just look at the drama, baby, we break down the emotions, the energy, and the deeper story behind what's really happening. Today we're talking about a situation that has social media buzzing. Claressa Shields, Remy, Papoose, and now Nigeria are all connected to a controversy that seems to become more complicated every single day. What started as simple online tension has now turned into leaked conversations, serious accusations, and non-stop discussions across the internet. And honey, the deeper people look into the situation, the more questions keep coming up. Before we get into everything, if y'all enjoy detailed breakdowns, celebrity drama analysis, and stories where we look beyond the surface, make sure you subscribe and stay locked in. Now let's get into how this entire situation unfolded and why so many people are looking at it differently. Recently, Claressa Shields went online and expressed that she felt like she had been surrounded by people who were not genuine. She talked about creating distance from people she believed could not be trusted and suggested that some individuals around her may not have truly had her best interests at heart. But baby, the reaction from the public was not exactly what many people expected. Instead of everyone simply supporting her message, a lot of viewers started pointing out what they believed was a contradiction. They felt that some of the same behaviors Claressa was speaking against were behaviors that critics had previously accused her of showing herself. And sis, that difference between someone's words and what people believe they are seeing can completely change the conversation. Once people started noticing what they viewed as inconsistencies, the internet did what it always does. It went back through the timeline and started analyzing every little detail. Viewers began bringing up different moments that they believed showed a repeated pattern involving Claressa. One situation that immediately came back into discussion was her participation in the Lil Kim challenge online. Many people remembered the previous moment involving Alicia Baumgardner bringing out Lil Kim during the MVP promotional event that she and Claressa were both connected to. At that time, some viewers felt like Claressa did not appear comfortable with that moment. So naturally, people started asking questions. If that situation created tension before, why did Claressa later decide to participate in the same Lil Kim challenge? And girl, that one moment opened up a much bigger conversation online. Then another situation started making its way back into the spotlight. People began discussing Cardi B showing public support for Remy during a concert. At that time, many viewers believed Claressa did not seem comfortable with what was happening. But later, people noticed Claressa interacting with Cardi B's posts online, and that created what many viewers considered confusing signals. Now y'all know how social media works. When people see changes in behavior, they start wondering if there is something deeper happening underneath. What do y'all think? Was this simply normal interaction, or were people noticing a bigger emotional shift? For many viewers following this story, what originally looked like ordinary competition between two women started feeling more personal. Behind the posts, comments, and reactions, people began believing there were deeper emotions involved. The internet started looking at the situation from a psychological and emotional perspective, questioning whether there was more happening behind the scenes than anyone was openly saying. Meanwhile, Papoose appeared to remain calm throughout everything. And baby, that was something people definitely noticed. Many viewers believe this controversy has actually kept his name circulating across blogs, comment sections, and social media discussions. Whether the attention surrounding him is positive or negative, his name continues appearing in conversations every day. In today's online world, attention itself has become valuable. Every new update connected to the situation keeps people talking, and many observers believe Papoose may be quietly benefiting from the constant attention surrounding the drama. That a lot of people online also began discussing the idea that anyone close to Claressa might experience tension if they openly supported Remy or even showed appreciation for her music. And honey, that detail made many viewers start looking back at previous moments with a different perspective. People once again revisited the Lil Kim challenge, remembering the earlier Alicia Baumgardner moment and comparing the different reactions they believe they saw. Then the conversation returned to Cardi B publicly supporting Remy and the way some viewers interpreted Claressa's response at the time compared to her later interactions online. For many people watching closely, those differences created even more confusion. What once seemed like a normal professional rivalry started appearing much more emotional and personal to some viewers. At the same time, Papoose continued appearing unaffected by the situation. Many people believe the controversy has helped keep him relevant across social media platforms without him needing to actively engage in the drama himself. And in internet culture, staying part of the conversation has its own power, but then someone unexpected entered the conversation and completely changed the direction of the story. That person was Nigeria, and the moment Nigeria's name became connected to the situation, everything shifted. Nigeria was not just another person online adding her opinion to the conversation, baby. She was someone who had been part of Claressa's personal circle. She had a connection with her. She had knowledge of certain things happening behind the scenes. And when she decided she was no longer going to stay silent, she didn't come forward with just words. She came with screenshots. She came with what many people online called receipts. And honey, once those messages started circulating, social media went into overdrive. The conversation spread quickly across different platforms, and suddenly everyone wanted to know what was really happening behind closed doors. According to the screenshots being shared online, the exchange between the two became intense very quickly. In those messages, Claressa was allegedly seen referring to Nigeria as an op and telling her to stop contacting her phone. Nigeria responded with the same energy and did not back down from the confrontation. But then, the messages that were attributed to Claressa reportedly became even more serious. She was accused of making personal comments toward Nigeria involving her finances, her appearance, her mindset, and her mental state. And baby, this is the moment where many viewers started looking at the situation differently, because what began as a disagreement between two people suddenly became something much bigger and much more public. Then came the statement that immediately caught everyone's attention. "I'ma show you." Now sis, those words changed the entire energy of the exchange. A conversation that may have started as a personal disagreement suddenly became a major online discussion. People started analyzing the tone, the emotions, and what those messages could reveal about the relationship between the two women. But Nigeria was not staying quiet. She responded by defending herself and addressing the comments that were made about her appearance. She made it clear that whether someone has money or not, nobody has the ability to take away her confidence or destroy her spirit. And girl, that statement stood out to many people because it shifted the conversation from just a disagreement into something deeper, a discussion about respect, pride, and how people treat each other when emotions are high. According to Nigeria, those messages revealed a side of Claressa that many people had never seen before. She suggested that the private conversation showed a different image compared to the strong, confident, undefeated champion that the public has always known. And this is where the psychological side of the conversation really started coming in, because when people see a public figure and then see a private exchange that appears different from that public image, they naturally start asking questions. Is this a completely different side of someone's personality? Is this just a heated moment? Or does it reveal something that people normally don't get to see? What do y'all think? After people viewed the messages, many online users said the version of Claressa shown in those conversations felt very different from the personality they were familiar with publicly. Then another screenshot began circulating, adding even more fuel to the situation. The image was shared with the caption, "My name is Jenkins and you ain't heard nothing from me," along with a sunglasses emoji. And baby, that post immediately grabbed attention because it gave the impression that someone was watching everything unfold while staying comfortably away from the chaos. People quickly noticed the post and started sharing their reactions across multiple platforms. The internet began trying to figure out what it meant and why it appeared at that specific moment. But Nigeria was not finished speaking out. She later addressed the situation publicly and made it clear that she did not need anyone else to speak for her or tell her side of the story. She wanted people to hear directly from her. Nigeria also explained that the friendship between her and Claressa began changing after she believed Claressa started discussing her private matters with other people around her. And honey, that detail made many viewers start wondering what really caused the friendship to break down. Then Nigeria made another statement that pushed the entire conversation even further. She basically told people that if they believed they already understood the story, they could go ahead and tell it themselves. And that comment had people looking deeper, because sometimes, baby, when someone says something like that, it makes people wonder what information they believe is still missing. It makes viewers question whether there is more happening behind the scenes than what has already been revealed publicly. According to Nigeria, everything started with one simple question she asked Claressa. She wanted to know whether Claressa believed Papoose was still involved with Remy Ma, and according to Nigeria, that question changed everything. A conversation between two people who were once close reportedly became the moment where their friendship started falling apart. Nigeria claimed that after that discussion, Claressa's attitude toward her completely changed. She said Claressa became more argumentative, started making indirect comments, and that the entire energy shifted whenever Remy Ma's name came up. She said she noticed this pattern repeatedly and felt like the change was impossible to ignore. And sis, this is the point where many viewers started connecting the dots in their own minds, because once Remy Ma's name became involved, people began looking back at previous moments and analyzing them through a completely different lens.